What's up, everybody? Welcome to SIDE Chat Female Founders Edition, Season 3, Episode 3. We're back. Last week we had Sam Cooper, a very innovative alcoholic beverage disruptor. This week we have a very unique female founder. So without further ado, I am going to have Serena. Come on in, Serena. Yay.
Hello, hi.
How are you doing today?
Good. Sorry, was that a hug?
All right, hug time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Is this your first time doing an ice bath?
No, I've done it before.
Oh, perfect. All right, so
I've done it in a while though, so hopefully I go well.
all right, we'll go wild because that's what we want.
Okay, done. Done.
All right, so you ready?
Yep.
Cool. Let's go.
do it.
All right, let's go. All right, Serena, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
All right, how's those legs doing?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Perfect. All right. Well, tell us about yourself. Tell us your startup. Tell us your story.
Yep. So about myself, I'm Serena, founder of Fuzzy Sequence. As you can tell, I'm Australian, Chinese, grew up in Australian, moved here after the pandemic. So I'm from the beautiful town of Melbourne. And we are known to have the longest lockdown in the world. So
I thought Singapore had the longest lockdown.
no, Melbourne had the worst. Melbourne was longer. Yeah.
Okay.
We were stuck inside for about 10 months.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
10
long.
months. And it was crazy. Like you weren't able to see people even 5 kilometers away.
Oh, man.
I didn't see my parents for about, I remember like 3 months, which was pretty crazy given that I see my parents every week. During that time, I was like, you know what? I need to get out of here. Every typical Australian goes to UK.
Oh, really? Okay.
Every Australian. So
I thought Bali would be the place.
Bali on holiday, but in terms of moving, it'd always be UK. And then me and my partner were like, let's do something different, and decided let's go Singapore. And so we didn't know anyone here, had no friends, didn't have any contacts, and just hopped on a plane and here we are. And it was meant to be a 1-year thing, and now I've been here 2.5 years, and I don't even know how I'm going to leave.
Boom, she's not leaving.
My parents are always asking me when I'm coming back, and I'm like, soon. Yeah.
Well, now tell us about your startup.
Yeah, so Fuzzy Sequence. Well, one of the hardest things for sales teams, and one of the things that I faced, was being able to actually have the sales meeting. And to actually have the sales meeting, you need to meet people, talk to people in a way that's genuine and is authentic to you. So what we do is we are an AI and automation platform. Essentially, what we do is we look at your prospect's profile, try to find common points of interest, and personalize messages and campaigns using AI and automation off the back of it. So if I were to speak and reach out to you, Yadavan, I'll be able to see what you've posted about, what you care about, and then we look at, hey, what am I doing and what I could sell that's probably relevant to you, personalize the message, and then build a campaign off the back of it so that it's all easy, done in a few clicks. The really cool thing about that is what salespeople only spend about probably 28% of their time in meetings right now. What we try to do is increase it so that you're on the reverse and you're not spending all the time on admin trying to do your little messages, and instead you're actually reaching out to the person and having actual meetings.
That's amazing. You know, one of the good pointers, and actually it's a missing link that you're trying to put them together, is a lot of people, or a lot of salespeople basically do cold outreach, and they don't know who their demographic is. They don't know who their target audience is. And look, if this Fuzzy Sequence, right, can target that audience, you save so much time. Right, and then you can be more productive on actually trying to convert your customers.
Exactly.
That is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, sign up to Fuzzy Sequence. All right, coming to our first question.
Cool. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, an amazing quote that I read. Everyone's jealous of what you got, but no one's jealous about how you got it. All right, so based on that quote, what are 2 challenges in a startup journey that usually nobody sees?
It's definitely the mental. I think your biggest enemy is always yourself, whether it be from a confidence perspective, the MR perspective, the team perspective. The mental part's actually quite difficult. Like everyone goes on LinkedIn and it's all, there's a term for it. It's toxic positivity. You see all these like great things happen and you're like, oh, I'm not doing so well. Or you see on Twitter, people are posting all these amazing images and you forget that these are all curated and these are all the one part of the 10 things that work well and the 9 out of 10 things that don't work well. Being able to pick yourself up is really underrated, and being able to be confident in the times that are tricky is also really underrated. So I'll give you an example. I think what most founders struggle with is negative self-talk, and being able to look at what actually is working and focusing on that, because the 9 out of 10 things that actually make you fail are the things that allow you to learn, that get you closer to that one thing.
Yep.
And all you need to do is optimize for that and do these iterations so you can learn more about that one thing that works. And so one of my mentors actually shared with me, and shout out to Kathy if you're watching this. Kathy.
You're going to be on a podcast too.
Yeah,
hopefully.
That'd be awesome if she comes to Singapore. You know, one day she was like, you know, I can tell this is like bringing you down. And she said, you know, from every rejection, it should give you energy to make you stronger. And she said, start your day with things that make you confident.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, that's fine. Start your day with things that make you confident. And so every day now, I do things that make me confident. So at the start of every day, I start my day with sales calls because I love talking to customers. I love meeting people, and that brings me confidence. And when you know that you're solving a problem that people care about. I think if you're talking to customers and they're like, don't really want to buy this, or this isn't something I care about, that's when you get down. But if you talk to the right people all the time, which is for me, my customers, it sets up my day right.
Yep.
And then also too, having a really good support ecosystem and people around you that will bring you up, and being able to tell you like, you know, hey, you're actually doing a really good job, and being kind to yourself and being able to do that. So I think having good mental gymnastics and bringing yourself up with a good ecosystem is really, really important.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. All right. Before we get on to our next question, we have to get over our challenge that is in front of us.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So are you ready?
All right, yeah, let's do it.
All right, so you can get in up to like here if you wanna.
Yep.
And then leave your hands outside.
All right.
You ready? Here we go.
Okay, all right.
Woo! Mama! Mama! How you doing?
Do you want me to be a secondary? I'll sing a backup song.
Mama! Oh, here we go.
I'll tell you go soprano.
Oh. Okay. All right, that made me feel better. Okay, next question.
All right, let's go.
The heaviest things on earth aren't iron and gold, but unmade decisions.
Yes.
Based on that, what do you think are 2 unmade decisions that basically prohibits or kind of becomes the challenge of the startup journey?
Unmade decisions. I would say, so I was thinking more in terms of like mindset.
Okay.
So I think it's fear and ego are the 2 things. So fear of like when you're doing a startup, yes, it's risky, but you're always trying to reduce your risk and trying to do things that give you the maximum chance of success, because you only have a finite amount of experiments that you can run until your money runs out.
Yep.
And so fear of making the wrong experiment, fear of talking to the wrong person, or fear of saying the wrong thing, that generally stops you for a lot of things. And I probably have stopped doing a lot of things because of fear. But the moment that I get rid of that fear, I unlearn it and be like, hey, actually, let me just give it a go and take this as a learning, that changes everything. And so I think fear of doing something, whether it be talking to the right person or fear of not taking that risk, I think that's number 1.
Yep.
Number 2, though, on the contrary, is ego. People are scared to be embarrassed, or on the other end, like too overconfident. But I think ego is probably one of the second biggest hurdles that I think people need to overcome. And I think those are the 2 biggest things that probably are the 2 things that founders need to get over.
100%. I totally agree on both, especially the ego part. I feel even the foundation of a startup, let's say, you know, the founder has an idea, and the aspect of him or her not being able to be flexible enough to change the idea or tweak it, because they just believe in that so much that could be also a major downfall. So bad.
Like for me, I actually avoided the sales space. So if people who know me long enough know that Fuzzy Sequence was a completely different product, and I avoided sales because I'm like, oh, it's competitive, everyone's doing it. But for what I'm trying to do, and to do it well, is actually quite hard, and I avoided it. And I think part of it was like ego, it was fear as well, because I'm like, oh, it's going to be hard. And now that I'm in it, I've realized that I've actually built a really good product, and people are like, oh, this is awesome. But that was me not doing it. A big part of it was fear and ego.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Right now, we have come to the eyesight tradition, where the last founder, Yu Ying, actually left you a question.
Ooh, thanks, Yu Ying.
So her question to you was,
if
you had one superpower to change the world, what would it be and why?
I think having everyone's understanding everyone's perception of reality. There's this quote, I'm probably paraphrasing it, but your reality of the world is based on your perception. And your perception is based on the experiences that you've had, whether it be good or bad, that shaped you to who you are today. But a lot of the times misunderstandings occur because of these perceptions. And when you talk through these perceptions, you realize, it's just a different understanding of the world. And a lot of bad things happen because you see the world differently, unfortunately. Weirdly enough, I was inspired by Thanos in Avengers, right?
Yeah.
So like I remember in the very first, I think it was Endgame 1. You know, everyone sees him as this bad guy. He's killing everyone, and then you hear why he does it. He comes from a world where everyone died of starvation. There was no more resources, and so the reason why he wanted to kill off half the population, and he was so dedicated to do that, was because he wanted to save the rest of the universe to not go through what he had to go through. But in everyone else's eyes, everyone sees him as the bad guy. But then if you saw it from his perspective, you're like, actually, he's actually trying to do a really good thing. And no one knew that. And so I think perception is really important, and being able to understand the other person's perspective is really important, because if you don't have that, that's when war happens. That's when people misunderstand. That's when fights happen. That's when even like I think the biggest unrest and people being unhappy with each other always is, in my perspective, misunderstanding. And so I always try to understand other people's perspective first before you assume. And you know, you're so quick to like judge. Like you're out on the street and you know something bad happens to you and you're like, oh, that person's an idiot, but or that person's a dickhead. But actually something could have happened that day to them, and having that little less understanding actually can cause a fight, can cause like anger to yourself as well. But if you understand from their perspective, you're like, it's kind of okay. And you feel better about it.
100%. The sun's going. I can open my eyes now. Whee. Okay, thank you for that. We have come to the end of the show.
Cool. I'm gonna put my hands in.
Okay.
Should I try?
Sure.
In the chair.
All right. Go for it. All right. Last question. Basically, again, as eyesight tradition, you leave a question for the next round.
Okay.
What will your question be?
My question for you is, what is the most underrated skill that a founder doesn't have? So you always hear about MRR, you always hear about retention, all those metrics and all that other kind of stuff. But if you were to say what the most underrated skill is for a founder, what do you think that they should learn and do?
Ooh, a very good one. All right, next founder, you're up.
You're up.
Well, thank you so much, Serena. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you.
Cold hands. So stay tuned, guys, for the next episode. And if you do want to nominate any other female founders or founders on the show, do let us know. We'll catch you on next episode. Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Let's go, Serena.
Thank you for having me.